Welcome to the DoubleACS Daily News. In June, in the case of City of Grant Pass, Oregon versus Johnson, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that cities can enforce ordinances that ban people from camping on public property, including the homeless. In Attleboro, a shelter is under construction on Pleasant Street. State Representative Jim Hawkins has been a leader in the construction effort, and DoubleACS spoke with him to get his thoughts on the decision.
Well, it seems to go the wrong way. In Massachusetts, we've just been trying to decriminalize things that are not violent crimes, like marijuana use. And here we're going to add something that's not a violent crime, which would be homelessness. Well, I worry more. My job, I worry more about what happens in Attleboro and what happens in Massachusetts. And the worry is encampments. And where we're standing right now is a homeless shelter that we're building in Attleboro that will help deal with encampments, and not just providing a roof over somebody's head, but providing services so they can go back into society as fully functioning individuals. The problem is a biggest part of homelessness right now is the housing crisis in the state. Rents have gone up by a significant amount. I think I just heard that a one-bedroom apartment in Attleboro is $2,200, which most people can't afford. And that means the only choice is to live on the street in a tent. It's become increasingly impossible to do anything else. And that starts from the top. Houses can't be bought because the houses now cost close to $1 million, and that would require a significant income that most people don't have. There's not enough houses for sale. There's no starter homes for sale, and there's answers to that, but they're long-term to change the system. This facility is for chronically homeless people, but we're worried about elderly people who are getting priced out of their markets and can't do anything about it. That's another part of this, who are maybe not living in an encampment, but we know people in the city who are living in their cars, who work their whole lives. And there's no solution other than fixing this housing situation.
I'm Susan Mazzarella. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Fall River, and we run many programs including homeless shelters for individuals as well as families. Criminalizing those who are unhoused, who are homeless, does not do anything to resolve the homelessness situation. As a matter of fact, it makes it worse. It costs taxpayers more money to put people in prison, in jail, because they're homeless, but there's no penological advantage. It's not like people going into jail because they're homeless are going to be reformed. They're going to exit in the same situation that they're in, which is without housing or supportive resources. So it's not the answer. To solve homelessness, it is an equation, right? It's outflow and inflow. The more resources you have, the more affordable housing, low-income housing you could create, the less people are going to enter into shelters or enter into homelessness. Shelters are important in the sense of it helps to stabilize people, it helps to provide them some resources like housing search, etc. But they're also not the answer. The answer is to find permanent supportive housing, prevention, diversion to keep people from entering homelessness to begin with. Those are the antidotes to homelessness. And I think the criminalization of homelessness, at first blush, one can argue for it and say, okay, well, we want our children to be able to play in the park and enjoy the green spaces, but it is not a solution to homelessness. It is going to make homelessness worse. So why couldn't the outreach team work in tandem with the police department? And not to fine people or give them citations or then possible jail time, but just to give the impression to those who are unhoused, who are struggling, that the community is not out to get them, the community is not out to criminalize them. We're here as supports, and that's the outreach team front and center, maybe with some police support being able to say, no, we want to be able to help you, what can we do? I think that working in tandem, and I know some certain cities in Bristol County do that very, very well. But to just send the police department, it sends the message of you're a criminal and you're going to be fined, you're going to be punished.